Morning, everyone. Scheduled to be a chilly week this week, so stay warm. Just before I walked in here, I was on the phone with State Farm because, one of the joys of being a dad is having to deal with when your children have accidents. So my daughter totaled her, not new car, but new to her car over the weekend. She's fine. She didn't do it. She was in the accident, but it was the other person's fault. But the car's totaled. We just bought it for her around Thanksgiving. Avery's going to be 22 years old. This is her fourth car. 3 of them totaled. 3 of the 4. 2 her driving. Unfortunately, 1 my wife driving. And, she goes through cars like water. So that's the joke in our house. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, just a little side note for all you parents out there, which I know you are many, the wonderful trials and tribulations of being a parent. All right, moving aside, talking about visitation, we have made some decisions on visitation, and these are all going to start on March 1st. I will get this all out in writing to all of the residents this week as well, so they'll have it in memo form, and obviously I'll be talking about it from now moving towards March 1st. So starting on March 1st, any loved one, relative, etc., who is also fully vaccinated, has both shots, and can demonstrate that to us via the card and your ID card, will be allowed to come in and stay overnight. And so you just need to make arrangements. Here it'll be through Dawn Wilkes. I will reiterate her number in written form on the memo, and through the front desk down at Gate Circle, you would call ahead. You would send, or they would call ahead, send their copy of their vaccination card and a copy of their ID. We will keep them on file, and then they would be able to come into the community and visit and stay overnight. And that would be 7 days a week. For people that aren't vaccinated yet, we're going to let them come in and visit, just not stay overnight. So they can come in as well. They will have to produce for us and show us a copy of either a negative PCR test that's no more than 7 days old, or a negative antigen test that is no more than 3 days old. So the antigen is the quick test. The PCR is the longer test. So again, for people that are non-vaccinated, starting March 1st, they will be able to come in and visit. They will not be able to stay overnight, but they will be able to come in and out of your apartment, patio, etc., with proof of a negative PCR within 7 days of visit, and or a negative antigen within 3 days of visit. We are not going to be testing on site. So as we did previous to Thanksgiving for a period where we had folks testing on site, we are not going to be doing that. They will have to simply provide us with proof that they've had negative tests, go procure them themselves. There are testing sites and antigen sites now everywhere, so they are not as hard to get. So they will have to, your visitors, loved ones would have to get the test, provide us with the result, and then they would be allowed to visit. But they need to update it too. They just can't provide us with one test and then that will be good for a month, several weeks, etc. It will be on an ongoing basis if they want to visit on an ongoing basis. So there'll be a lot more to come on this, of course. But again, visitation will start on March 1st. People that are fully vaccinated, as long as they can prove it and send us the information, they'll be able to come and visit overnight in the communities, both here and at Gate Circle. People that are unvaccinated, they will have to send us a negative test result, and they would be able to come as well, but not overnight. There are no, so even for the folks that can come and visit or overnight, they will be allowed only in the apartment that they're scheduled to visit, so they can't move throughout the community, and no we're not going to be opening up the guest rooms yet. So if they're coming to visit, the guest rooms, both that we use as kind of hotel rooms, both at here and at Gate Circle, we're not going to be opening them up yet. So if they're coming and staying overnight, they would have to be in their residence apartment. And of course, no guests at dining. So when the dining venues open up on the 19th at Gate Circle, and on the 26th here in Williamsville, and going into March, no guests at dining, at least for the foreseeable future. Probably be a while on that. So much more information to come on this, but I know some of you have been waiting for this, and we're happy that we're going to be able to move forward with visitation as well. Speaking about dining, as we know, dining is opening up on the 19th, at Gate Circle for dinner, and on the 26th here in Williamsville for lunch and dinner. It's going to be 2 people per table, reservations in Gate Circle, and reservations at Williamsville for both lunch and dinner. And we're going to do reservations in Williamsville, which is different than normal, simply because we're only allowing 2 people per table, and we're going to have them a little bit spread out. We don't want a bunch of people coming down at 5 and a bunch of people coming down at 5:30, and everybody lingering around and waiting initially and gathering together. So we will be requiring reservations at Williamsville, at least initially. So I would say through the month of March in Williamsville, we will be requiring reservations for lunch and dinner. Gate Circle is used for reservations, so it's not a big change for them. We will be getting the information out to residents on the numbers to contact for reservations here in Williamsville. But again, reservations will be required starting on the 26th for lunch and dinner in the main dining room here in Williamsville. Want to reiterate that starting March 1st, both cafes will be open for grab and go. The tables and chairs won't be out yet, but you'll be able to go. The full menu is available, and you'll be able to order whatever you like, and you just have to take it away from the cafe. So that's good as well. And we're going to continue to build out. As I said, we will pay attention to whether we're having any additional cases here in Williamsville or Gates amongst our residents, and also within the community. If we continue to see kind of stabilization, then we'll slowly even more normalize dining and be able to go from 2 people to a table to possibly 4, and normalize cafe and all that stuff, which we're looking forward to. But we're going to take it, while we're going to open this stuff, we're going to take it a little bit slow and respond to what happens. So a lot more information on those particular items, but I wanted to get it out there. You can always, again, questions, you can email me directly, rwallace@echa.org. I want to end with, we have 1 additional positive COVID case, independent resident here in Williamsville. That takes our total here to residents that have tested positive over time to 9. This particular resident's doing well, and hopefully they'll continue to do well. But in total, we've had 9 independent residents here at Gate Circle test positive. And this particular resident, I don't believe has been vaccinated, even got their first shot. So, and I think it's because of testing positive. I could be wrong there, but so we've had 9 total residents, independent residents here in Williamsville test positive over time, and 1, and thankfully only 1 at Gate Circle, and that was just before Thanksgiving as well. So, and no additional positives in our health centers, assisted living, and skilled nursing, so that's a great thing. So again, I want to reiterate, the virus is still active in our communities, and active within your families who are in our communities, so please continue to be safe. Thank you, and I'll be back here on Wednesday.